Right, sticks. I'm going to show you how and why to use them, hopefully in about 3 ways. And I've structured the session so we've got 8 questions that I'm going to pose to you, and hopefully we'll get more than 8 answers. And at the end of it, you'll be experts in feedback. So, number 1. In my class, I never want to ask a volunteer a question unless I need a new idea to move stuff on. Most of the time, I want to check what my class know and what they don't know. So I use sticks. It's incredibly important to find out what your class don't know, because that's where your teaching goes next. And every day I go into lessons and I see that, and the teacher gets lots of lovely responses, and the teacher moves on, and they have no idea what the class knows and doesn't know. They have no idea whether they've moved on at the right time or wrong time. This feels quite confrontational, as you'll discover, unless you're used to it. And I sort of apologise for that, but also that's what school should be like. It should be a challenge for students. So, here's your first challenge. Can you bullet point 3 things that feedback is for?
Okay.
Why do I patrol the room when you're doing the task? Lots of reasons. I'm trying to get feedback from my class about their learning all the time. It's all I'm interested in. That's my obsession. How are they learning? What are they learning? What don't they know? Yeah, that's basically the only thoughts that go through my head, really. So I've got someone who's finished early. I haven't read what he's done, so I don't know what he says. I'm not interested in that. I'm looking at 1s and 2s. I don't need everybody to finish, okay? Because I'm going to start teaching from what other people have got. And the other thing I don't want is people finishing and then twiddling their thumbs. So I'll finish early. I'll wait for 2 or 3 people to finish and then end, and then we'll start hearing. So here we go. What's feedback for? Naomi.
I put to address misconceptions.
Whose?
People's misconceptions.
Okay. Thank you very much. James.
Sometimes I think confidence and reassurance, actually letting students know actually what they're doing well, but at times reassuring them, okay, this needs to improve.
So how does this needs to improve lead to reassurance?
Oh, just I think some students it's just reassurance of actually what they're doing well. So you know, you're doing what went well even better.
Okay.
Just consolidating that really.
So you want the what went well first, and then you follow it up with now wanting to improve. Thank you. Alice.
I just put to highlight people's strengths and weaknesses.
To who?
To everyone, I suppose.
Oh, right, okay. Would you make that public in the lesson?
No, I was meaning as in parents, teachers, and people themselves.
Louis.
Rewording their responses to the rest of the class if they've got something which seems right.
Oh, that's your job as a teacher, to reword what they come up with.
So, yeah.
Okay. Esme, thanks for the hearts. Matching pink and okay, I should have guessed. Go on, Esme.
I put rewording like as well, but I meant sometimes to get a student to like word it for everyone else.
All right, so difference of opinion here. Why would you get the student to reword it?
Because they're on the same wavelength. Sometimes I just like get a bit tongue-tied and I'm not making much sense.
Okay.
And they can make sense for themselves.
Oh, blimey. Is this a real name?
Is that Pyrrha?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic. Thank you, Pyrrha. Go.
Mine don't really work well individually, so I'm going to really quickly read 3 if that's alright.
It is.
I've got what they knew before, what they've learnt today, where to go next.
Okay. Why do you want to know what they learned before?
So that they know where they're building, what they're building from. They usually do recaps so that
Yes.
we know where we're coming from this
Thank
day.
Another one.
So that will be Sam, right? Thank you, Sam. Go.
I haven't got anything new apart from praise. Praise God.
Well, that's new.
Yeah.
What's important about praise, do you think?
Well, encouragement, especially for those who may not want to contribute sometimes
Yeah.
may feel like they're inferior in the classroom. Praise hopefully highlights that they're wrong and then
Okay.
perhaps makes them contribute more.
Right. No one gave me a wrong answer, did they, in that session? However, I will point out to kids as soon as they've given me a wrong answer, I'll point it out, because that's the only way to deal with the misconceptions. So you need an atmosphere in your classroom where it's expected for people to go wrong. And my job as a teacher is to keep pushing until kids don't know the answer. Yeah? Otherwise, I'm back to, well, they probably knew that already. It sounds like I'm having a great lesson because they're giving me great answers, but how do I know I've taught them anything new, you know? So you have to have a climate in your lesson where the feedback you're listening for is mistakes. You're not really interested in right answers. You are, but that's not enough. You want to make sure that your students are going wrong. I am going to teach you some stuff that will disagree with some of the answers that you've given, and so I'm going to give you a health warning. I think at the end of the session I'll show you my results. I frequently go to training or to schools and they go, oh, we do this, it's absolutely wonderful. I said, oh really? And I go up and look at their last 3 years value added. No, I don't want to listen to you because you think you're fantastic, but actually you're not doing your students any good. And the most important feedback for you, it's early days yet, is how your kids do. And you have to keep monitoring how your kids do. It's the only valid measure of whether you're doing a good job. You will have people like me coming into your lessons and saying, oh yeah, what if you did this and what if you did that? But all that counts for nothing if your kids aren't doing well.
How do you define what they do? What do you mean by what they do?
I mean you assess it honestly and ask yourself, is that good enough for them? Have I done a good enough job on that bit? And if not, they've got to do more, but also I've got to do different. If they haven't done well enough, then I've got to change something I'm doing. And so I guess my most important lesson about feedback here is it's more important to find out what your kids can't do than it is to give them individual feedback. So what your class tell you about what they don't know is much more powerful because it completely changes what you do next. Yeah, it's not about marking in books, and okay, we will talk about that, but it's not about, all right, I've marked the books, I've given them the feedback, I'm doing my job as a teacher. That's not really doing your job, and I'll explain that as we go through. It's much more important for you to reflect, okay, I've marked the books, where do I go next now? What do I need to do?